Your job was a crew member?
Navigator.
Navigator. And you were in the European theater during
Yes.
World War II?
Right. Navigator on a B-17.
A B-17. Any special thoughts about some of those bombing runs?
Oh my, yes. Yeah.
What was your first run like? How did you feel the first time you knew that you were going over Germany?
The 8th Air Force had kind of a practice on your first mission. It was kind of a milk run. A target which is not very heavily defended and is not deep into Germany. But as a practical matter, I think the first mission was to Luxembourg. But, and no fighter, enemy aircraft, no black aircraft fire.
Run into any Messerschmitts?
Not that day. I did, yes, but with bad results.
And what year was that, your first mission?
That
was that
would
43?
be April 1944.
44.
So the war was going on pretty well by then.
Right.
And
Although it was before the invasion.
before the invasion.
Right.
But you were seeing a lot of action, I'm sure.
Yeah. I forget exactly what our targets were. One was to Berlin, I know, which was a mean one. The other one was to Ludwigshafen, that was a mean one. Stettin was one. And of course, Dessau, D-E-S-S-E-A-U, was the target on the day we got shot down.
And as a navigator, you were the boss of the plane once the pilot gave it over to you, right?
Well, as a practical matter, we were a member of a group flying, so that the navigator normally didn't have to do anything unless something came up where they had to leave the formation.
Nah.
Which, of course, occurred too. But otherwise, the navigator was really more of a observer, and he had 250 caliber machine guns, one on each side of the nose of the plane, so he could shoot when the occasion arose. So
This was the B-17.
Right. 4-engine bomber with no heat, no pressurization, and not much comfort. But
Were you in formation when you were shot down?
yes.
And it was anti-aircraft
No,
flak
fighter aircraft.
fighter aircraft.
Focke-Wulf's ME-109.
That must have been frightening to go down in a B-17. They don't glide very well, do they?
No, they don't. And the navigator and the bombardier are sitting in the nose of that thing, and it's all plexiglass. So the Luftwaffe at that time was making head-on attacks. So you saw them coming, and then you could see the flash of the 20-millimeter cannon firing out of the nose of the ME-109. So it was hair racing. Yeah. So.
And then what happened after you hit the ground?
Well, we bailed out, and there was a guy aiming a rifle at me on the way down, so yeah, they were waiting for me. It's like they made a date with me.
And this.
So that started your POW career.
Right, that was about 9 days before the Normandy invasion.
Oh my. How would you describe the German war camps?
Some were all right, and some were miserable. I was in, there's three basically. The first one you go to is basically an interrogation center called a Dulag, where the, at least American Air Force officers are, it's just north of Frankfurt, and they interrogate you. But I was the second lieutenant, so they knew I didn't know much by that time, so they didn't waste much time with me. But with some people they did spend a lot of time. There was one story where I could overhear the guy being questioned. He was a captain in the Air Force, and he'd keep wanting to know what group he was with and so forth, and he'd keep saying, no, I'm not going to tell you anything other than my name, rank, and serial number, because that's what the Geneva Convention requires. And the German interrogator says, damn it, Captain, you're not in Geneva.
Did you have any inkling that D-Day was approaching soon?
No, this is, okay.
Because nobody should have known, should they?
No. We knew it was imminent when we were, by the time we got shot down. See, now D-Day was in the shot down area, not in liberation time, yeah. Yeah, we knew it was imminent, but when? No. And we learned about it from some German officer told us on June the 6th that the invasion began and that the slaughter was terrible. And I thought to myself, if that doesn't work, I'm here for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it worked. In January of 1945, the Russians approached from the east, so they moved us, and we walked for about 6 days and covered about 60 miles, and then got on boxcars and rode down to Stalag, not Stalag, but Stalag 7A, which was north of Munich. And that was a mean, rotten camp, yeah. And the guards were trigger happy. So one fine Sunday morning, April 29, there was a field mass, and we were in Bavaria, and Bavaria is a Catholic area. So there was a field mass there Sunday morning, and then two P-51s flew over the camp at a low altitude and buzzed it. You know, we knew today might be the day. But the liberation was spectacular. Let's say after the fire exchange, some tank crashed through the front gate, and bingo, we're home free. And the swastika comes down, stars and bars go up. Man, that's one to write home about.
Did you come home directly right after that?
No. First of all, they weren't equipped to move us out for about 2 more weeks. And then we flew to Le Havre, France, which was a R&R facility. And got uniforms and physicals and food. When we got shot down, the first thing the pilot said, he didn't need to say anything, I could see the damn engine was going crazy. But he said, pilot and navigator, how far are we from Switzerland? I said about 200 miles. He said, how about Sweden? I said about 300. Forget it. Yeah. But that was, we could not have made France, because that would have been a better alternative, because you had the resistance there to help bail you out occasionally, if you were lucky. Yeah. But okay, yeah, from Goose Bay, Labrador to Iceland to Prestwick, Scotland to Holbrook, England, base of the 351st Bomb Group. That was a tough stage of the war from the air wars, and why I don't know, but on May the 28th, the 351st Group, which we were flying in, they lost 6 planes. I think May 27 they lost 6, and I'm not sure about May 29, but I'm pretty sure they lost some more. Man, the Luftwaffe was going all out, I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming they weren't as depleted as they were going to be after the D-Day invasion and after diverting troops and that sort of thing. So maybe that had something to do with it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was, as they say, it was mean. And by that means fighter aircraft, anti-aircraft fire, and so forth.
And when did you first experience that? You didn't experience that on your first mission.
Right, but on the second one, yeah, without doubt. And I'm not sure in what sequence, but anyway, Berlin was one of the early ones, and that was a tough one, because that was a very heavily defended target, naturally. And the anti-aircraft fire was tough, and you could see planes going down. That's tough too. When we were in camp, we would get a daily German communique. Now, whether or not you could believe what they said is another question. In addition to which, there was a clandestine radio that we could pick up BBC. Now, by that, I don't mean that I did, but there would be there was a degree of organization in those camps where there would, for example, there'd be an escape committee, and there'd be this communication committee, and the camp, Stalag consisted of 5 different compounds, and the West being the most recent. And I was in the West compound, and each compound had about 2,000 people. The British were there long before. You know, they were captured in Africa in 41 or 39. Gee, they were there forever. But each compound would have kind of a quasi-military structure. The West compound, being American, there would be a senior American officer who would be the communicator with the German officers and so forth, see. And the British compound would have a senior British officer. And if another officer came in who had seniority, bingo, he was senior. And there was a good deal of organization. Every morning and every evening you had to march out into the field and be counted. Make sure that nobody got out. Yeah, so it didn't make much difference what the weather was either.
Now, did anybody escape that you know of when you were there, or?
No, I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Yeah.
First of all, the 50 getting shot was a hell of a deterrent, number one. Number two, there had been the invasion, which made you think that, look, the United States going to win this thing, let's not take too many chances.
Right.
Yeah. And I saw one guy trying at night. I don't know, he had some kind of a white cloth and there was snow on the ground and he tried to crawl out. Hell, he didn't get about 50 feet and spotted him. Because there were guards, dogs and so forth, yeah. So that's my only episode with escape, yeah. But it was exciting.
Yeah. And what was that like up there under fire, where you had to see? It was coming from everywhere, wasn't it? I mean, just chaos. Is that a good way to describe it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, the 27th or the 28th, there was a fantastic air battle. I could see one going up above me, and there was a guy spiraling down out of control, and there was a battle at our level. And
it was just like in the movies.
Yeah, it was they were going down. And we did too.
Yeah.
Law of gravity.
You learned that in high school, didn't you?
Yeah.